Rumors are that allegedly Phaedra threw major shade at Porsha and Simon's wedding. What did she say? And did Porsha catch it? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about. And it centers around rumors that allegedly Phaedra threw major shade at Porsha and Simon's wedding. What did she say? And did Porsha catch it? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more. And here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Phaedra shaded Porsha's wedding day in a huge way. Fans were left shocked by Phaedra's comment and wondering if Porsha and Phaedra's friendship was really over. One source said, "It definitely looks like the two are no longer good friends. I mean, she wasn't even at the wedding, and oddly enough, Candy managed to get invited over her. That was very telling." The source continued, "Allegedly, wedding guests were also shocked not to see Phaedra at the event. Many thought that the false narrative of them still being super close after Porsha threw Phaedra under the bus in season 9 were true. Apparently not, and we now know it for sure. So, the question is, what did Phaedra allegedly say about Porsha's wedding and marriage that was complete shade? Well, yesterday, one day after Porsha's wedding, Phaedra left this comment under a Shade Room post not regarding Porsha's wedding, and fans were quick to point it out. Under a Shade Room post regarding Latasha Scott's husband's alleged mistress, Phaedra wrote, "Timeless love, I'm going to head out." Phaedra was allegedly being sarcastic regarding the alleged mistress's baby with Latasha's husband. So, the question is, how does this all tie into Porsha and Simon? An industry insider put it like this: if Phaedra is throwing public shade at an alleged mistress for actions she probably sees as being deplorable, then one would think she feels the same way about Porsha and Simon's marriage, given the alleged way they got together. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to guess that Phaedra probably sees Porsha and Simon's timeless love as being fraudulent. Another source said, "Everybody knows Phaedra is witty with her shade. So, a slick comment like this is actually her calling card." The source continued, "Whether Phaedra was aware at how her shade could be linked to Porsha, it doesn't go unnoticed that with this alleged current state of their friendship with Porsha, it's quite possible she said what she said and might believe it applies to all mistresses across the board, even to her former best friend." Now, kinfolk, when I got this information this morning, I was very shocked because I was like, Phaedra shading Porsha's wedding? No one else is talking about this. I didn't see anyone on social media commenting about Phaedra throwing shade at Porsha, because I felt like if it was something that happened, then everyone would be talking about it. And then when the comment was brought to me, I had a second opinion and a second thought of this information that I can kind of see it being true. And it's this: it is being said that Porsha and Phaedra's relationship has not been quite what it has been seen as, or quite as what it was as people thought. I have been getting information about this for quite some time, especially over the summer when it was rumored that Phaedra was trying to make an alleged return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. And many of my sources told me behind the scenes that even though a lot of people may want that whole frick and frat relationship back on screen, it may just honestly be wishful thinking, because my sources were telling me that allegedly Phaedra just does not see it for Porsha anymore, simply because the way that their friendship ended on season 9. Now, my sources are telling me that, of course, Phaedra does behind the scenes take responsibility in what happened to Candy. However, allegedly also behind the scenes, she is not so particularly happy with the way that Porsha seemingly tried to avoid accountability for her part in what happened with that big lie. And so my sources are telling me that back then over the summer that if Phaedra did return back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise, and if Porsha managed to return as well, then the type of friendship that we think we will see on camera would not be the type of relationship that we would get in front of the camera. So with that being said, I can kind of believe the rumors that their relationship is not in the best place, and for good reasons, to be perfectly honest. Now, the second part of this rumor that I find very interesting is this. A lot of people on social media are saying that the reason why Phaedra was not at the wedding is simply because Candy was invited, and that Porsha made a comment that she wants all of her wedding guests to feel comfortable. So a lot of people are saying that Porsha and Phaedra's relationship is actually fine. However, the only issue with that is Candace and Monique both were at the wedding, and Porsha even made a comment that said that she was unsure about having people who did not get along in the same vicinity of one another, because she wanted everyone to feel comfortable. So with that being said, if she invited Candace and Monique, and also at the time Giselle and Candace, who are currently beefing, then one would think that if she really is good friends with Phaedra and cordial or good friends with Candy, she would still want Phaedra there regardless of how Candy feels about Phaedra. And one would think Candy would be probably a big enough person, which I think she is, to really fall back and say, hey Porsha, this is your day. I can't tell you who not to invite and who to invite. I'm going to come and support you, and if you want Phaedra there, then I'll have to deal with it because it's not my day. And that's how I see Candy pretty much coming to that situation, if you believe that conversation was had or could have been had. Because right now it's all alleged information and speculation. However, I do think Candy would have been big enough to let Phaedra come to an event that she had no help or no, help in planning, or no say so in planning. So with that being said, that part of rumor I just don't find too accurate that they're on good terms, because if they were, then I think Porsha would have invited Phaedra regardless of who she may or may not be cool with. Now, Kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that I find very interesting is this. Now, when it comes to this alleged shade that Phaedra threw, I mean, do I think it's a reach? I do. I do think it's a reach, and I was telling my sources that I just feel like it was a reach. But the more my sources were breaking down this comment to me and how it could potentially relate to Porsha, then I was like, I could see where they're coming from. And the only way it could not be seen as shade is if you are to believe that Phaedra had more information about, more behind the scenes information than the general public had, which I do find very hard to believe, because a lot of even Porsha's closest friends and closest family members, for my sources are telling me, don't even know the real story of how Simon and Porsha got together. And I mean, even some of her most closest friends, my sources are telling me, are still in the dark as the timeline and when they really officially started dating. So no one really knows. And so with that being said, I doubt Phaedra even knows any more behind the scenes details of Porsha's and Simon's marriage from what has been reported to us as rumor and speculation, and also alleged information. So if you're going to run with the narrative that Porsha allegedly stole Simon from Fallon while Simon was still married to Fallon, and that they were sneaking around on Fallon, and she found out, and it just became this big hoopla. If you are to believe that information and those rumors, and then also knowing that that is the public narrative, then it seems as if you probably would steer clear of calling out mistresses in a public atmosphere, because you may not want to slight your best friend or someone who you feel you're cool with, because if you do, that type of shade may be seen, as it is now, as being very blanketed and including some casualties, even someone who you're supposed to be cool with. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor that I find very interesting, that I have some interest in knowing myself. Did Porsha catch this alleged shade that Phaedra threw? Well, my sources are telling me that the past several days, even weeks, Porsha has been extremely busy. She's planning a wedding and enjoying her wedding in her honeymoon phase. So 9 times out of 10, my sources are saying that Porsha probably didn't catch Phaedra's comment. However, my other sources telling me that Porsha is very in tune to social media, and being on the Shade Room, she probably was checking to see how many times they were posting about her wedding and this, that, third, fourth, fifth, and the sixth. And the day after her wedding, she probably was checking the Shade Room comment sections and probably looking at posts, just casually strolling as she's looking for her wedding pictures to pop up. So with that being said, me personally, I do find it highly likely that Porsha may have saw this comment. Now here's the thing. Does Porsha take it as shade being thrown at her as well? That we don't know. Me personally, knowing Porsha and how she's acted to certain things like this in the past, it could go either way. And I don't think if she did see the comment, she probably would have taken it as shade towards her. But then again, if you are to believe the rumors that Porsha and Phaedra are not the best of friends, are not on the best of terms, then it really could go either way. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. The comment, I think, is still up on the Shade Room. It's under the latest post regarding Tasha Scott and her husband's alleged mistress. You can go read the comment for yourself and see some of the replies. But do you think that this comment was indirect shade at Porsha and Simon's relationship? Or do you think it's just a coincidence and that we don't know all the details of how Porsha and Simon really got together? So we really can't say if it was shade towards Porsha and Simon's wedding. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.